Yeah.
What happened last night? I met Tiger Woods.
Held the Stanley
Cup and beat the shit out of him.
Killed some dude. Left some dude bleeding by his car.
Tickets are on sale for KFC Radio Live. Click the link in the bio. Get yours. Come out and hang with the boys.
You're one of my favorite followers on the fucking.
Brother, my man.
Fucking kill me every time. You make me laugh my ass off.
Thank you,
every
brother,
fucking
man.
time.
That really means a lot.
One of my favorite followers, man.
That is an honor, dude.
You make me laugh
Were
my
we
ass
running?
off.
Were the bikes running on that one? I hope we got that. I hope we got that, man.
I'm so glad I'm getting to meet you, man.
Shit, what is...
What is seriously, man?
Is this
I
a
do.
prank or something?
No, seriously, you make my
guys
laugh.
pay
I
him?
laugh my ass off, dude. I love it. When I see you come up, I'm turning the sound up. I know that's gonna be funny.
Darius Rucker,
Fuck outta here, man. Bro, this, I mean, you know, I'm 38. I'm like a 90s kid and you know, kind of found country music a little later in life. And so, like, you are my fucking guy. So for you to be saying anything
thank
about
you.
me like that is crazy
Thank
right
you.
now. I'm very honored, but thank you for taking the
You
time.
kind of stole our thunder. We're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
For you.
Oh no, dude. I mean, this
No.
motherfucker, he kills me. Like I get home my current news view and shit happen. You present it so funny. I'm just laughing my ass off.
Let's go. It's funny how many people do say that because I think, I mean, I hope I do a good job, but I also think people are just sick of the regular fucking news.
Oh, that's
That-
for
you know
sure.
what I mean?
For sure.
It was just good timing to tell it like it is, but shit, man, this is wild because you know this is our turn now though because you are I think one of the rare people who have not one but like two almost like legendary careers at the same time in a way. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you, man.
I mean, obviously in music, but I've always, for me, in the beginning, people knew me as my initials KFC, and then a lot of people started calling me the 1 Minute Man, and it was like a mind fuck for me. And I'm sure, you know, there are people, whatever age they are, they yell out Hootie or
Oh,
they sing Wagon
absolutely.
Wheel,
Absolutely.
Right? So,
You're 100% right there.
I mean, that's a good thing, right?
It is a good
Right,
thing,
yeah.
man. I always say when somebody asked me one day, "Do you hate when people call you Hootie?" I was like, I'm glad they still know who the hell I am.
That's what the Dave Elprez, our boss, when he, you know, there's been through so many iterations of Barstool, but I mean, for a while he's kind of become more of a pizza guy, and for a while people would use that as like a put down, like, oh, he just does pizza now. He's like, I don't care how you know me, as long as you know me.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure these are questions you've answered a million times before, but the Hootie thing is funny that it became like you were Hootie.
Dude, you know,
Like, that's so funny to me.
the funny thing for me is I named the band.
Yeah, okay.
And when I named the band, I never thought people would call me Hootie. It never clicked to me.
You're the front man.
I
though.
know. I'm
Like,
such a fucking idiot. I'm such an idiot.
that is pretty fucking stupid.
It never fucking clicked. And now I'm like, fuck, I'm not in it.
That's crazy. I was like, all right, I'm crazy. But he's gonna have a canned answer. That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know what's worse. Like, you're Hootie, but they're the Blowfish.
That's
So I don't
true.
know.
That's true. That's true. I don't know which is worse.
Bruce Springsteen's like, I never thought they were gonna call me Bruce.
That's funny.
So, was Hootie? How long before you blew up with Hootie and Blowfish?
7 years we were a band before we got a record deal.
Before you even had a deal, so it was like truly grinding for 7 years.
Grinding for 7 years. By the end of it, though, I think we were all making more money than our friends who had gotten college degrees, gotten jobs.
Really?
We
It
were
was
playing
like
the
that?
same clubs every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But, you know, we were selling them out, you know.
Okay, so it wasn't like, you know, starving artists.
Oh, we weren't starving.
You were good.
No, we weren't rich, but we weren't starving, that's for sure.
That's cool, man. That's
Yeah,
so like I'm sure at that point you're thinking like we're playing the gigs, you know, the clubs we want or whatever. We got a roof over our heads.
Yep.
Did you have families at that point or anything? Or?
No, nobody had a family yet, and we had gotten a record deal with this label out in L.A. and it fell through, and it left such a bitter taste in our mouth that when everything really started happening, we weren't even really looking anymore.
Really?
You know, we had put out
isn't it always the way in life when you're not looking for something?
Absolutely. We had
Whether
put
it's a
out
relationship or work or whatever, that's when you find it.
We had put out an EP called Coochie Pop, and we were selling it like crazy out of our van and at these mom and pop record stores.
Shit.
And we were playing, like I said, the same clubs every 6 weeks. I think we played 250 dates that year or something. Wow. And, you know, we all made $75,000.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're doing that thinking like, all right, we're good, and then all of a sudden you have one of the biggest albums of you know the decade, right?
Yeah.
Like, But was that like did you like switch styles or anything, or just like
No.
you had like 3 or 4 singles that just hit and it just went?
We were just playing the clubs, and then one day, then like I said, we were selling all those Coochie Pop CDs, and back then
Coochie Pop. Now that's a good name.
and it means exactly what you think.
I was thinking to myself, man, is that some slang?
I don't know,
or is it?
like, he's exactly what you think it means. And we were
wait, hang on. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I don't know what I think it means.
The pop part?
The
Coochie
yeah.
part.
I'll tell you how you can tell us on Barstool. I'll tell you how we named it. We were doing it in Charlotte. We were in this little hotel we were staying in, making this record, and we started watching Comedy Central, and they used to have stand up, where it was like MTV, where they just showed comedians back and forth. And Shirley Hempel, who's played Shirley on What's Happening, was talking, and she said her daughter was going out, and she was going to the beach, and she came out, and she said her bathing suit didn't even cover her Coochie Pop. So,
There you go.
Coochie Pop. But anyway,
I'm glad I asked.
Yes,
I was
absolutely.
thinking it was a coochie flavored popsicle.
it is.
There's no wrong answer. There's no wrong
I
answer
was
here.
like, envision myself on the beach.
But like grunge was king when we
Right,
were then.
right.
So nobody was looking for a band like us, and back then it was before computers did Billboard. When it was still when you called a record store and they told you what their top 50 records were.
Really, shit.
And they were calling. There was like 5 or 6 record stores that were selling us in the Carolinas, and they were selling like crazy. And so when they did their Billboard report, we'd be 3. Hootie the Blowfish, and so somebody noticed there was out in the South this band Hootie the Blowfish out selling REM and U2. We got to go find them.
Yeah.
And then all the labels came down and tried to sign us.
No shit. That's
Yeah.
That to me is like, that's the essence of what, it's the opposite of everything now, because that's just like a tangible, real result. People were listening, they were buying out of the trunk, they're going to the fucking club, and they're calling, and and it's not that you got a bunch of TikTok followers and if you went to try to sell out a club, you couldn't do it. You know, it's like no, the people were there first.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
The other way around.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I can't fault the industry for going the way it went, but it's like it seems a lot smarter to.
It was different. Like I can't get mad at streaming. You can't get mad at the way it is. I mean, the internet just changed the world.
Yeah.
And that's
Better and
great
worse,
and everything, but better or worse, you make your decision. But back then, I mean, it was hard to get anybody to even listen to you.
Right. Yeah,
but then once you did, you had them.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like now, and unfortunately, I'm a product of it. But I'll have some mix on Spotify, and I'm like, I don't even know who that was.
Yeah.
And then like I'll probably never hear that song again because it just gets shuffled and all that stuff.
Yep.
But I feel like once, because it was in my pocket. But like once someone introduced you to a song, it was like, sit down, listen to this,
Yeah.
and then you'd look at the album art or the
read
tape
the lyrics,
art, right? And like
the
it was
CD
you were in.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in the 90s buying an album off of one single. Like if you had a single, and I would play 10, 12, 15, 18 tracks, whatever. And sometimes it was the only song I liked.
Oh,
and
I had that happen a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But I would be like, okay, I don't know. Like they're a one-hit wonder or whatever. But that's why, when Hootie had like just banger after banger, it was like, holy shit. I mean, all of those were like #1 singles, right? I mean, they were all.
every
How many
song we put
how
up
many albums did that sell? How many records did that sell?
21 million.
Oh,
The
shit.
8th best-selling record in the history of the U.S.
No
history.
shit.
21 is nuts.
Nuts. That's nuts.
I mean, that sort of shit. I mean,
That shit's never gonna happen again.
I was gonna say, does anybody even go like Diamond anymore? No, right?
I think
It's
the last Diamond record might have been Adele.
Yeah, she's like a different animal.
Yeah, she's
it's
a
like
different animal,
like if Taylor Swift isn't putting up 21 million, like ain't nobody. It's like it
Taylor
is-
seems like she could crap 21 million. The way it's going for her right now.
Dude, that is just another level. Was that like at that point a level of fame? Did it get crazy? Like
Yeah, it got crazy.
Like can't go anywhere.
The
Can't.
best part of it was it was the 4 of us. We were always together. So, we kept each other grounded. And where we lived, we had already been playing the biggest club there. And so all the people we saw already knew.
Yeah.
And so it was, it wasn't that bad there. But, getting the airports and shit started getting crazy.
Yeah.
What is the difference? We had Cypher Sounds in here recently, and he was talking about DJing back in the day versus DJing now, and how bottle service and table service ruin clubs and stuff like that. What's been the biggest difference? And obviously you're playing in you're playing stadiums, arenas, and all that stuff now. But what's been the biggest difference you've noticed from like live performances?
Oh, for me, there's no difference on live.
None,
Really?
I mean,
Wow.
the live music is still the same.
No way.
The biggest difference in the business is that when we started in '94, the only reason we went on tour was to advertise our records. You're making money, but you went on tour to advertise your records.
CD,
Nowadays, the only reason you make a record is so you can have
go on
songs
tour.
to
Yeah, so
advertise
it
a
just
tour.
That's
flipped.
wild.
Yeah, because nobody's making money off records anymore. Not real
Yeah,
money.
it's and that's all just because the streaming they just hold all the cards.
Yeah, we make. I think I'm not like this. Could be wrong, but I think we make .0000001 cent
Per stream.
every time we get the play record.
So even if you're getting billions,
So if you
it's
set,
like
650 million streams is I don't know $15,000.
I think we had Luke Bryan on a while back, and I think I was just thinking in my head that I must be misremembering the number, but now that you say that, maybe I'm not.
But yeah,
I think he said he had like a $4,000 check from Spotify.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's nuts.
And the thing that makes you mad is when you see how many spins you're getting, how many people are listening to you on Spotify, and you make a $4,000 check, and then the CEO walks away with $4 billion.
yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Is there any way to like unionize?
government. And you hate them for government to have to fucking do anything, but the laws just haven't caught up.
Yeah,
Right.
Like the last time they did a law, I'll never forget because they had a law that was coming up, and Lindsey Graham, South Carolina senator, was supposed to bring it up, and he decided that day he wasn't going to bring it up.
I wonder
And
why.
so they called me, and they're like, Lindsey Graham? I was like, yeah, I'm from South Carolina. I met him, and would you call him and ask him to put it on? So I called him up and asked him to put it on, and he did, and it passed. But when it passed, that was when we got .00000.
That was what it was
Before
for.
Before that, it was less.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And so it's just like Spotify, Apple, and then maybe a couple other like smaller ones.
Yeah.
And that's got to be considered a monopoly,
And they're making a
antitrust or
fortune.
whatever.
I mean, they're making a fortune. And the
Yeah, because
artists-
music is not only music went away. Music is still
Yeah.
one of those popular things.
Oh, music's never going to go away.
Yeah.
Ever.
And I know like Kanye tried to put his music on its own thing, and Jay-Z with Tidal, but there's just not enough for the artist to like try to fight back. There's just
if
no
you
way to
really
do it.
want people to hear your music,
You can't do it.
you can't do it. I mean, you can put it out yourself, but the only people to hear it is people that know you.
Do you think if you put together like the Avengers of music, right? Put together just like the top 10 guys or the longest veterans or whatever, you got enough of them to say like we're not putting our stuff on Spotify? You think that would even put a dent
If
in
you
it?
could get Jay-Z, Adele, Taylor,
Drake, fucking-
Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
and the four other big people, they really got together and said, we're pulling our stuff off until you pay us right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think that's that far fetched.
I don't think
Taylor
it's
tried to
that
do
bad.
something like that with Apple, didn't she?
Yeah, but
she put it on for a while.
She's on Apple.
Yeah. Right.
Like I don't think, especially Taylor with like what she went through with her music, and I feel like Jay-Z is kind of like on this other level, and like I don't think it's that far-fetched that some of those names would say fuck it, let's do it, and be remembered not only for your music and all that now, but you're remembered as the people who like saved, you know.
The thing is, they could do that, and they all can walk away with $2 billion,
Yeah.
and then the rest of us can get paid.
Yeah, but that's it's like why are you guys so?
Yeah.
How much greed is there really? You know, because it's not like you guys are gonna go broke because we get rich. Everyone's just gonna be rich.
It's like I saw the other day, the OnlyFans guy is paying himself $1 million a day.
That I can't knock.
I ain't mad
Can't let it get good. Man.
I ain't mad at it.
That man's a hero.
If I
Okay?
get $50,000 a day, we'll call it even.
Yeah, listen, just start putting your music on OnlyFans.
You
know
subscribe
what?
to my channel?
Listen,
Darius Rucker
if
shower
music-
pic.
Yeah, exactly. Brushing my teeth.
Yo, man. that is. But I guess was touring. So you said you used to tour to sell records, but touring wasn't profitable at all.
It was profitable,
but it
you were
wasn't
making,
like
you were making great money.
yeah.
But you were making so much more money off records.
But has touring made more money now, or it's always been the same?
I think now touring is bigger. There's more people going out to see shows.
Right.
And so you are making more money, and you're charging more for tickets.
Yeah,
everybody's
you can get
charging
away-
more.
yeah.
Like I never thought I would ever charge $70 or whatever we charge for a ticket. I just,
Right.
I mean, I remember I was getting mad when the Eagles came back and it was $100 a ticket.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not going to that show. But tickets are more, and merch is doing great. Touring is a great. I'm making a great living. I'd be lying
sure.
if I say anything else.
Yeah,
But you know, it's just a big circle, and you know, hopefully in my lifetime they'll figure out this thing, and they'll.
I actually think it's even just this past year. It started to bubble, like how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
I think all you guys should say that number, 0.001 every time you're doing it. Like,
Oh, I do.
'cause I don't. Yeah. 'Cause I think people know, but they don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and they go, oh, well, like everyone's rich, so who cares? And it's like, well, not everyone.
not
you know,
everyone.
There's a lot of people who probably deserve to be who aren't, and people who are deserve more, and people who really are deserve less. So
And it's one of
let's
those things
even it
where
out.
if they gave us a penny, just
Right,
a
a penny.
penny a spin, everything changes.
You know, that sounds like good marketing too.
Yeah.
Like that could
Penny
be the
spin.
movement, just penny a spin. Like,
Penny a spin.
because you know, sometimes when there's these labor disputes in sports and now entertainment, more sports, when it's like, oh, the multi-millionaires are fighting the multi-billionaires, and the regular Joe at home goes like, fuck all these people, you know. But when it's like, oh, we're asking for one penny, you know. Because there's just that much money to go around. It's like who would have a problem with that?
I agree.
You know? Yeah, I know. You would, bro.
There's that guy taking all the money home.
Yeah,
got a
there's
problem with
fucking
that.
like 5 guys. You know what you need? Not to be dark about it. You need a few people to die. There's a couple old men running shit who just like when those guys kick it, the next generation will be like, yeah, just fucking break them off.
Just pay everybody. Yeah, break this off, man.
Yeah.
When you were talking about touring a lot, how much do you miss old days of touring? Just because like I think about with us when we go on the road. And it's so easy to get like stories and things like that because there's always a disaster, and I would imagine it translates to writing songs as well, like the experiences you have. Whereas now, I imagine it's pretty seamless.
It's
You're
seamless.
touring.
The days somebody asked me this the other day. They said, "Do you miss when Hootie the Blowfish was the biggest band in the world?" I was like, "No, I miss in 91, 90 when we were playing clubs in a van." Smells like foot and ass. 5 of us in the van driving around to these same cities from New York down to Florida, in Tennessee, and just playing the same clubs because it was us against the world.
Yeah.
And like you said, everything was getting fucked up, and you had stories to tell, and you were funny, and it was just work. It was awesome.
But did you in that moment? Did you know that, or were you like, "Fuck this"?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So like, actually, when I
know.
really started thinking about it was when Hootie stopped playing, and I was like, man, I miss when we were playing clubs. That was awesome.
Yeah, that is
awesome.
It's it's like right before you really get comfortable. So you're not roughing it, but it's still a little bit grindy.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is. That's
Yeah,
a
I
fun
miss
time.
those days.
And then so Hootie, when it's you guys like broke up or just when like it was
It was crazy because we were playing every summer. That was our job, and I think that was one thing that made it so easy to stop playing was it was becoming a job.
Yeah, it was getting a grind.
I mean, it was a grind.
Yeah.
And our drummer came in one day and just said, y'all, I don't want to be in a touring band anymore.
Wow.
And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I'm going to go out next year, but I'm done. And we're like, wow. You know, we've got money, but we ain't got enough money to stop for me to stop playing.
Was it really like that though?
Yeah.
Even after like
I mean, we had money. We were rich.
What year
we
was
had money,
that?
but I didn't have enough money to stay rich for the rest of my life if I never worked again.
I mean, you sold 21 million records, bro.
But I split it 4 ways,
Yeah, that's
bro.
true. I was thinking about that. I was listening to another podcast. Can't remember which one it was, but they were talking about how there's no like Boys to Men. There's no male. There's boy bands where they're saying there's no like black young men in groups, and they were saying nobody wants to fucking split it. Like I could just do this myself, or I'm gonna try to do it myself before I split it 4 ways.
You know, I love touring and I love playing, but like when Hootie toured in 19, I took a 1/4 pay cut.
Jesus Christ!
From the 3 years before.
Because it's just Darius
And
Rucker versus
it's
Hootie.
the biggest tour we had. Billboard magazine tour of the year, all that shit. Great tour. Every show sold out. Awesome, all over the world. Great. I took a pay cut of a 4. I took 3/4 of a pay cut.
You are a good man.
That's why I help the boys out. That's it.
Yeah, because I mean, listen, we still know the name Darius Rucker. You know. Was there like a moment of like when it stopped being like, hey Hootie, and turned into like that's Darius Rucker? Yeah, I mean that's also got to be another moment. Like as much as you love Hootie, that's got to be a cool like. Okay,
yeah, the moment it really ended with Wagga Will. That was when.
What year was that?
Oh goodness, I guess 10. I guess 10 years old now. I think so. What is it?
Oh,
13.
That makes sense because I think
Yeah.
I went to FSU, and I remember being in Tallahassee and being like, "This is." It's like every frat you went to, no matter where you went, you're like, "This is." And I actually had gotten into. I'm from Massachusetts, but I had gotten into country a little before. I feel like, and maybe it's just because it's where I was. I feel like country hit New England before it hit everywhere else. Like, obviously, it was the South, and then. I feel like
you guys had that country
like
fest
Kenny
that?
Chesney used to come do Country
Yep.
Fest, and then Taylor always had Foxborough, and for some reason I think it settled in New England a little bit, and then obviously became what it is now. But I remember I went down to Tallahassee as a country fan already, which surprised people, and then once Wagon Wheel hit, it was like
Yeah.
the fucking
Total.
monster.
I mean, I'm from New York, and it was like a rap fan, and then knew like '90s music.
Yeah.
But country, it was like, but you knew like Chicken Fried and Wagon Wheel, so those were I could always sing along with that one.
Yeah, Chicken Fried is one of my favorite songs. I think that's a pretty genius song.
Yeah.
I was watching a movie the other day. I was watching Bruce Almighty. It was on my Netflix. I don't know why, but they had Sixpence None the Richer played a song, and I was like, "This is so perfect! Like, such a great song for this scene." Have you ever been watching a movie where you saw a scene and you're like, this was the wrong song. They should use one of mine.
God, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I say that a lot when I watch movies. Because I'm a movie dude. I mean, I try to see almost every movie that comes out at some point, and I always look at it and I think that when I see it, and it's not just always my song. Like I could think some other song that I know that would have been perfect right there.
Yeah.
But,
If you could put one of your songs in one scene, what would it be?
oh, probably that's a good question.
Great question.
That's a good question. If I could put any song in any movie you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I would probably put Let Her Cry. I would use Let Her Cry at the end of The Godfather. When they're killing five, when they kill five people. Let Her Cry. Play the whole song.
I gotta be honest, I didn't think you were coming up with The Godfather. I'll get Coppola on the phone.
One of our guys is gonna make that for you.
That would be awesome.
We will do that.
That would be
It'll
awesome.
get ripped off the internet immediately, but we'll have that. That is awesome. That would be great. You should maybe do that for a living. You ever think of that? Like get into
I would love
another
to.
entertainment space and score films, if you will.
I would love to. Not so much score them, but just
No,
be the music
it's not the word.
director,
Because you know what else is gone is the soundtracks used to be such a big deal,
dude.
and they were real, like almost albums. You
Yes.
know, I think about like especially in the rap world, there were mega hits that
Yes.
came from the Above the Rim soundtrack or the Bulworth soundtrack. That's like,
From the-
what album
yeah.
was that on? Not even anybody's album. It was just on a soundtrack. I don't even know how that happened.
I actually forgot about soundtracks.
Yeah.
I think the last
Those were
soundtrack was
awesome.
the last soundtrack I loved was Greatest Showman, which is like
Well,
Great.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
even
but that's the music from the movie.
musical is different than like this is just music that accompanies this type of film. And
it's like when you watch a movie like Do the Right Thing. The
Right.
soundtrack makes that movie.
Ugh.
I mean, it's a great movie and everything, but the soundtrack.
But the music is
the music is so great.
So how would soundtracks work? Like if you had a smash hit, but it wasn't on your album, it was on a soundtrack. All that money goes to like the studio, or
It's just like it was on your record.
Oh, it's the same thing. Okay,
Yeah, same thing.
So the label still gets it, and you
Yeah.
get whatever your cut is.
Yep.
Okay, so it didn't really matter if it was.
No.
But I guess it would help you sell your.
And you get a big lump sum up front to be on the movie.
So that would be like
Yeah.
you would want.
Oh yeah.
If you had to pick between your album though or a soundtrack, you would want the hit on a soundtrack.
Soundtrack.
Got it.
no kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm thinking of The Bodyguard with Whitney. That sold like
Absolutely.
100 million fucking CDs because of
Kevin,
I Will Always Love You.
She was the love of Kevin Costner's life.
Yeah.
I love Kevin. I love him.
I love Ken. You must have so many
Got a
people
Rolodex, I bet.
you can just refer to like their
Yeah.
first name, but, like not refer like
okay.
people you know.
I'm a
Like,
kid from Charleston, South Carolina. I still live in Charleston. And I was thinking the other day, I was just sitting getting high the other day doing something, and I was thinking of the people I know, and it's friggin' nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people that I call friends, the people that I can call on the phone. It's
Right.
just nuts.
Who would be the most surprising?
Most surprising?
Yeah.
Goodness, most surprising. I don't think anybody would be surprising.
Kevin Costner would have been surprising.
Kevin-
It
Kevin and I
makes
were
sense
good
now that
friends.
you say it, but
Yeah.
like when I heard it, I was like,
Kevin
Kevin
and I
Costner.
probably the most famous guy I have on my phone is Tiger. Tiger's just so famous.
Yeah.
You know, we go
So famous.
We go way back. Like
Yeah.
I sung at his dad's funeral. I sang at his wedding.
No
Tiger and I
way.
were really close. Yeah, but
And how did that come about?
great story. We were playing. We got our record deal, and a record had just come out. We had decided we had these group of clubs that we had booked that they wanted us to cancel, and we told them no, we're not going to cancel. We're going to play all these clubs and we're going to sell them out and make sure everybody makes money that night. And we're playing.
Like the label signed you and like forgot that old shit.
We're going to play all these clubs that are booked.
Got it.
So we had booked a club in East Lansing, Michigan. And we play the game. We go to Rick's Cafe American after the show, drunk. And I walk in and I look over and I go, "Isn't that kid Tiger Woods?" I was like, "He's 18. He shouldn't be in here drinking." I mean, he was about to go to Stanford. And I went over and introduced myself, and he knew who I was. We sat down and the party just started. No. And we're standing there, and this is one of those things, like when you tell stories like this, you go nowhere. We're standing there just partying our ass off, sitting at this table, and we look over. And a dude walks in with a Stanley Cup and puts it on the bar, because a Michigan State player, the guy had played for Michigan State, it was his week with the cup, and it's just sitting on the bar. We're over there. Tiger was drinking out of the Stanley Cup, just right in Rick's Cafe America. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That was crazy. That was a crazy night,
dude.
The Stanley Cup walks in. What'd you put in my drink?
Yeah. Exactly. And then to top the story off, we leave, and we're having a snowball fight with these guys. And this one guy throws a bottle at us.
Oh, shit.
Brawl?
Yeah.
No way, dude.
Straight out.
Tiger?
No, Tiger. We had left Tiger. And we are whooping ass. We are just over there whooping ass. It was awesome.
Yo, that is great.
Awesome. Yeah.
What happened last night? I met Tiger Woods.
Held the
Stanley Cup and beat the shit out of him.
Killed some dude. Left some dude bleeding by his car.
Yo, it's funny because, like, you know, especially in the 90s with grunge and some of those fucking hardcore bands in the 80s, and, you know, you wouldn't think of, like, Hootie and the Blowfish as, you know, but I'm sure you were not to be fucked with. Like, you're still a rock band on tour and shit, like, you know, guys together, like.
Like, two of us, me and Sony, who our drummer, we grew up fighting. Like,
really?
Like, I fought every week growing up. I mean, we, you know, lived in a tough neighborhood. We had the projects behind us. We were fighting. We fought. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And
fighting's a fun thing to do.
It is.
It's so weird. It's like, I wish I could somehow raise my kid to, like, get in some fights. You know what I mean? I'm, like, looking at his life. I'm like, how are you going to get in a fight, dude? Like, it's, you know?
Preaching to the choir, dude.
Yeah.
My son is
maybe
18.
we can get our kids together and let them beat each other up.
Exactly. My son's 18 and he's 6'4" now, and he has. And you realize this when your kids get older. He truly believes in his heart he can beat me in a fight. And I can tell when I talk to him, and I tell him all the time, kid, I will fucking kill you. I was like, two things are going to happen. You're going to have to go home and go, my dad just whooped my ass, and oh my God, I just got to fight with my dad.
I always tell the story of, like, in my parents' house, we got a big gym, boxing bag and stuff like that. And I remember, like, one time working out, and, like, I was, like, in high school or something like that, and I was jumping rope, my dad was hitting the bag. And I was just like, dude, thank fucking God you never used to beat me. You are putting the hurting on that bag. And it's still to this day, I'll go home and I'll say hi to my mom, and she'll like, do, up in the garage. I'm like, you still got it. Still throwing iron hands up there.
You have one son?
I got one son, two daughters, yeah.
Two daughters, okay.
Yes.
So, and they, so they're 18, you said.
He's 18.
So that's a little, like, so they are coming of age kind of when Darius Rucker, Wagon Wheels.
Like, they don't know it. They don't know. Hootie was just
nothing of that, right? That's crazy. It's like, Daddy had a fucking legendary career you don't even know about, and now I got the new one. You know how lucky you fuckers are?
Yeah, they're going to. Yeah, two of them went to NYU. They're fucking lucky.
What's
That's
NYU run you
expensive.
these
Dude,
days?
I can't even imagine what it is.
What'd you just say?
95.
95? Bro, I was going to get 60.
No. Oh, hell no.
What?
In like 1995, it ran 60. Dude, Fordham is like 75.
Per year?
Yeah.
Dude, this is why I didn't go to college.
I know. Yo. At what point do you say it ain't worth it, man?
Dude.
I guess I would rather pay 95 for NYU though than like 80 for some fucking schmuck college.
Absolutely.
You know, at least NYU still carries
A lot
some
of prestige,
weight.
yeah.
A lot of people going into debt and shit for these Jamoke colleges. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Put that money into
Yeah.
literally any
Anything.
other the biggest scam going aside from Spotify. Crazy, man.
But Spotify does have the, I guess the positive aspect of it is I guess you can make a name. You can stumble upon an artist more easily than
Yes.
you can,
Yeah.
right?
Like
playlists
100%.
and all that
100%.
stuff, yeah.
That kind of just happened with Oliver Anthony,
Yep.
right? Where it was like a guy who went viral, and it's like, oh, I don't know, he's now doing Joe Rogan and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's. I can't
because you
decide
know
if
what,
it's
like-
easier to
like-
get found now.
Oh, I
or
think it's
then.
easier to get found for sure.
Now.
It's easier
yeah.
to get found
But
out,
it
for
just
sure.
sucks for you.
But you know what I think?
Like, it sucks if you're
Yeah.
famous already.
I wonder.
Exactly.
It's probably. I feel like there's it's easier to get found, harder to cut to the top.
Yes.
Like I feel like back in the day, you couldn't get found, but once you did, some record label and radio station just put you on and jammed you down everyone's throats until they were like, "We like them."
Yes. Yeah.
Now it's like, "Oh, I've heard all of this, but I'm not going to listen to you a second time or a third time."
Yeah.
I
'Cause
agree.
yeah, you know.
They
and
talk about that with comedy, where like back in the day, like in the Johnny Carson stuff like that, like if you got 15 minutes on Johnny Carson, or I'm sorry, you had to do your 5 on Johnny Carson, you were getting a sitcom.
that was it.
Oh, absolutely.
It was
I mean,
over.
for us, I mean, a record came out. We had 5 stations, 3 in South Carolina and maybe 2 in North Carolina. Playing our record, and not playing it a lot, just playing
Right.
it every now and then. Just hold my hand, and we do Letterman one day on a Friday, and by Monday we were on the way to be the biggest band in the world.
No way.
Yeah, one appearance on Letterman
Thanks,
changed
Dave.
our lives.
That is
Yeah,
that's
Jesus
when we were talking to Sypha about the music industry as well. When he was talking about how when he was a disc jockey, like he's like I was a tastemaker, like that. Like I found things I liked, and I could decide that like these are
Yeah.
gonna be a big band. That doesn't exist anymore, even on TV. Like Letterman
Not at
can be
all.
like this. I like this band. Put this band on TV. They're gonna be famous now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's funny because nobody was playing our record, and the guy who was the big radio station here in New York decided he liked the record, and he was a rebel DJ, and he was like, "I won't play this. I heard this band, I love it. We're not adding it, but I'm just gonna play it. You guys tell me what you think." And Dave was driving home
Oh,
from
that's
work.
the best. That's the best kind of
Yeah,
promotion,
he
right?
was
To
driving
have-
to work,
to
and he
be-
played it, pulled on the side of the road, called his booking agent. That was a Tuesday. We were on Friday.
Wow.
Dude, so you think
And
about
then
like
from there,
if
it's
he's
all in a week.
Skyrocket.
if his radio, loses signal because he's in a tunnel, or
Yeah.
he
I'm
can't.
not sitting there talking to y'all.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Seriously, if he's in the tunnel, can't hear it, he never hears that record. I'm not sitting here talking to you guys.
nuts.
Do you,
I
do
mean,
you,
I like
do you
to
honestly
think-
believe that? Do you think you would have found
Yeah,
a different
I-
way?
I think
or-
that
Because
somebody
grunge
would've-
was king.
Yeah.
Grunge was so big that there was nobody giving us a chance because we weren't grunge. There was nobody out there trying to help us or trying to play. Grunge
But like
was
somebody, like the reason why that DJ and Letterman, like you cut through the grunge. You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
somebody would have. Maybe it wouldn't have been the same level, but what was the first big single?
Hold My Hand.
Hold My Hand. So there's
Yeah.
Hold My Hand, Only Want to Be With You, Let Her Cry.
king. Yep.
Those were like the 3.
Those all 3 off that one, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus
That is
Christ.
nuts.
And Time. Actually, Time was the number 1 off that one, too. Yeah.
Oh my God. That is crazy. And that's just, and you know what else? Fucking music videos just are not a thing anymore either.
Dude.
You know?
They're just not. You still make them because there's still the channels are playing, but nobody's watching music
Yeah.
videos anymore.
Jermaine Dupri was on a podcast going, you can't just go to the bodega and film every rap video in front of your bodega. Somebody's got to go somewhere else.
That's so true.
And these guys, it was on the Road podcast, a bunch of DJs, and they were like, "Nah, come on, like Ice Spice and Megan Thee Stallion doing this and that," and they like pulled up their videos and it was like, bodega. He's like, I'm saying it's fine, but someone's got to do it somewhere
That's
else.
funny.
I actually saw a clip. I think it was on Instagram, whatever, where they were breaking down. It's basically the exact opposite of this. Where remember the Jamiroquai video?
Yes.
Where he is on like the.
That
video. That's a great video.
They
Great
built
video.
the whole rotating.
That's exactly the
Christopher
video.
Nolan
You
shit.
might have seen the same
Yeah.
video I did, but like they
Yeah.
were talking about like the effort and the time that went into that,
and the
I-
money
and
to
the
build that
money,
thing.
Yeah, I remember watching the MTV series, making the video, whatever, behind the video, whatever it's called. Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson video cost like $7 million to make just the video, and
Yeah.
and I'm sure some executive was like, whatever,
Just
cut the
signed it and
check.
said,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Michael
now,
and Janet?
now it's like,
Yeah, right.
here's a fraction of a penny.
Did you ever have a lot of MTV interaction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all over it.
Were you
Oh,
ever,
yeah.
Did you ever do like the beach house or something like that, or were you?
We did the beach house. We did all that stuff.
Yeah?
The beach
We did
house.
the
We did
grind.
What was it- what
the
was-
skiing. We did all that.
Yeah.
What was the beach house like?
Decadent.
I remember I was pretty young, so I don't have like
It was-
strong memories of it. But I just remember being
the
like
grind and the
7
beach house.
It was
and
decadent.
being like,
Wait,
I think I like this.
How old are you how old were you at like the peak of Hootie?
The peak, I was probably 29.
That's still, you know, getting
good
getting
age.
good.
That's
Like,
good.
yeah.
42. See what y'all are making me do. That was a good time.
Man, that is so. Now I feel like you get found, like we were saying, like you can go viral on TikTok or whatever, and then it almost seems like you can have success and streams and people know your music, but like a lot of people in the rap game are canceling tours and like it's just not translating the same. And is that just because there's so many more, or like I'm just wondering, what is it going to take? Will there ever be another 21 million album? Like
I don't.
Is that
I'm sure there will
possible?
probably, but I don't see how.
yeah, and if there is, it's going to be like a phenomenon,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not just going to be a band who people like. It's going to have to be something.
It's because now the way they do it on streaming, the way they count, it's so different.
Yeah.
You know, back then you were counting every record that sold. You
Right.
could count
Uh-huh.
that record sold, that record sold. Now it's like X amount of streams equals a record or whatever
Yeah,
however they do it.
right,
It's just
right.
crazy.
We mentioned Oliver Anthony earlier, and I think that song's great. I think he's
I
such
do
an
too.
interesting like character, and I think the most interesting part of it is how out of context, I guess it is, not out of context, but how his song was taken and run with by different people. And I think it's a weird position as an artist where like you've created an art with your own thing in mind, and you put it out in the world, and then something different happens with it.
Yeah.
Where he-
Everybody, people want to incorporate it for themselves, and you have to come out and go.
Nah,
That's
man,
not what I
not-
meant, bro.
Yeah.
Has that ever has there something like that ever happened to you where you
No,
like,
not
that's not
really.
what that song meant, or that's not what that lyric meant, or something like that?
Oh, I've had to do that.
Yeah.
I've had to explain, what lyric was there? Was a lyrics in one of our songs on Cracked Review that I had to keep explaining, but I don't remember what it was. But that happens just because, like you said, you when you're writing a song, you're writing it for yourself. You're
Right.
writing about what you think. And somebody else listens to it and they get a whole different thing out from it, and they want to incorporate it and make it, and it's you try to just let it go and let people think, but sometimes you got to go, hey man,
Because you know what,
That
people are
ain't it.
stupid, bro. It's,
tell me about it.
Yeah, it's like Springsteen and Born in the USA, where it's like, guys, no, the exact opposite of everything you're doing. The exact opposite.
That is
you
one
know?
of the things that I every time I see it, I laugh because I watch when the political debate stuff. I watch it just to see where it was going. And when I see somebody play Born in the USA to walk out to, I really go, you have no idea what that song is about. You have zero
None.
clue.
Yeah,
what
there
that
are
song is
sometimes
about.
one
where
lyric, you know?
it can happen where you're like, it's a more personal thing, and you're like, they took it to mean a different thing. That's like, I'm explicitly
He's
saying
saying-
something.
Yeah,
else.
yeah. He's saying you suck. Is what he's saying.
Doesn't it go to
that
show
same
how
thing
much
happens with-
people don't listen to lyrics, though? You
Right.
know, like,
It's like
for
the
every
album-
one person
yeah.
who can read and listen and understand, there's a million who just listen to the melody or the hook or whatever, and it's
Or
like,
or they listen to one line and don't listen to the other stuff.
yeah,
Like,
they just
that's
pick
what
they
happened
want.
with the Oliver Anthony stuff.
Yeah.
He had one line that everybody, and he's like, no,
Yeah.
no. And
He had that with, it was the Republican debate, right? Where
Yeah,
he was like,
yeah.
no,
He
I'm
was like,
talking
that was
about
a joke.
you
He's like,
guys.
you're the freaking people I'm talking about. You're the people I hate.
I
But
think-
thank you
I
for
mean-
getting me paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the rub, right? Like
Yeah.
we always joke, I'm like, let's just become Republican 2A guys and just like make this money, and it's like, because sometimes I feel like all you gotta do is flip the switch, you
Yes.
know? Oh, and then when the pendulum swings and you can get paid for being liberal, you go right back
Exactly.
that way. You know, I
Exactly.
feel like country is a pretty politicized genre, though. Whether
It is.
There's a lot of different.
I think a lot of people
dynamics.
don't want it to be, but there's such a faction that does want it to be that they take it. They're over about it. Like most people in country music doesn't really care who you vote for.
Yeah, yeah.
But the people that do are the ones
Really
you hear.
care.
Really,
Yeah.
right.
And
Which is always
yeah,
the case, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, the loudest people in
Yeah.
the room. Yeah. So you just kind of avoid all that.
I
and
don't
just
do
like,
politics at all, man.
Yeah, brother.
Not at all.
I mean,
Like I've had candidates from both sides call me up. Hey, will you come play for me? I've had one guy offer me $2 million to come play a show, and support him. And I was like, fuck no,
No, really?
Really?
no.
$2 million for a night?
And I will say this to you: I was glad I was rich when that came. Because if I wasn't rich, I might have been like, "Oh, let's talk about this."
everybody's got a number, bro.
My values are for sale, for the record. Any politician, I will be there. Bro, 2 million, I'm in.
Absolutely. Live podcast from fucking Donald Trump's whatever. Mar-a-Lago, here we come. I don't give a shit.
Eric Vivek needs a guy. Right here, baby.
I'm happy I was
Yeah, he can't do Eminem anymore, so he needs you.
Oh, man.
shit, dude.
That's funny shit there.
So what else is
We got Carolyn's boy. October
yes.
9th. You're out on the road early for this.
Yeah.
I am, because trying to get some stuff done now. I'm sure I'll be back in New York on October 6th, but it's been 6 years since I made a record.
It's been 6 months.
6 years since I made a record.
Now,
so-
is that just the
I find that like sometimes with this where we're like I'm like I could take off forever and I'd be fine, but then I'm gone for a week and I'm like I gotta let people know my opinions. Were you like that with writing songs?
I
Where you're
was.
like, yeah.
'Cause, I mean, in the middle of that, we did that last Hootie record, and that was then the pandemic hit, and life was just slowed down, so I didn't get to do anything. And I really was about 3 years ago when I was like, man, I want to make a record.
Yeah.
Like, I need to make a record right now. And that's when I dove into the writing and
was
everything.
the like a Hootie reunion like how does that come about? Like was that a
We still play a couple shows every year, like our charity stuff.
Right.
We still do that every year.
so like everyone's on good terms?
Yeah,
and everything.
God,
yeah.
we're great friends. We're
Right.
family.
Right.
And
right.
and it was just when we did that last tour, it was just somebody said let's do the tour, and I'd done so well in country. I was like, y'all want to go on tour? Let's see what happens.
Hell yeah.
And actually, I'm gonna lie to you. What I said was when we had the meeting, I said I don't want to, but I will. But the only way I'm doing it, if it's not fucking huge, I'm out. I told us to
Going all in.
because when we stopped playing, we were playing 15,000 seaters and putting 10,000 people in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And you could see that
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
out there playing. It's still 10,000 people, but
Right.
And I told him I don't want to do that. If we're not going to play stadiums and arenas and everything's going to sell out, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're going to prove it to me. And that's when they got Rob Light, who runs CAA, to surprise me at the show and go, it's going to be fucking huge.
So what does that mean? Like we're gonna promote you everywhere? Like how do they ensure it to be
I
like?
wanted to make sure people wanted to see us play.
Yeah, but how can you like determine whether that's
they
true or
had
not?
talked to people, they talked to promoters who had
Yeah.
put
So
some
it's
word
just-
out, and everybody was like, it
Yes.
will be huge.
Uh,
And I was like, okay.
Hell yeah.
If it's gonna be huge,
That's a
I'll
great
do it.
feeling too.
Yeah.
It's like still got it.
Okay, I'll do it, yeah.
Hell yeah, man. That is unbelievable.
Yeah,
dude.
because I was taking a pay cut.
yeah, it's either money or like enjoyment. You know,
Yeah.
one or the other. That's what life's about, right? So.
And
well, dude,
I imagine Carolyn's Boy is a rather personal record.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
My mom was named Carolyn, and of course, Carolyn's boy. But it's a record. Every time I make, all I want is great songs on a record. That's I write and I listen to a lot of songs, trying to look for great songs. And with this record, I just wanted it to be personal and about me and about what's going on in my life and what's happened in my life, and that's what we did.
I mean, it's the easiest.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, like, in my opinion, we're different genres, but
When
like,
it's real,
it's the only way to do it is I just talk about my life and my stuff because
I forget who
you
said
start
it.
making it up is like.
Someone was always talking about comedy, and I think it applies to every aspect of entertainment. Is like you can be as successful as honest. You can be as successful
As you are honest.
as you are honest,
Yes.
basically. And
Right.
it's like if you're telling
That's
your
your-
stories, then no one else can do it. AI can't do it. Someone can't steal it. Like it is just this is
Yep.
my joke. This is my story. This is my song. This is whatever it is. And
the fans know it. The fans
Oh,
know
yeah,
when
you
you're
can-
honest
you
and
can-
real.
yeah.
They know it.
You think any of this AI stuff, this hysteria is warranted? Yeah. You think it's a real threat? Yeah.
The people I think it's a threat to is like it's a threat to those writers that are striking in LA. It's a threat to songwriters. You know, my son was showing me the other day this AI thing with music, and I was like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, I used to do this. You had this AI thing, and then boom, you have like."
The Hootie and the Blowfish song.
Yeah, yeah,
It
you're
sounds
like,
like you. And,
I've said this before, and I obviously there is some fear of it and all that stuff, but like I don't know, and maybe it's because I care about an artist and things like that. But if you told me you played me a song, and I could go, wow, that's a great song, and you went, yeah, AI wrote that, and I would go, oh well, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like I think it can trick you, but I don't think it can get your heart.
I agree.
I think that is,
What a great way to say it. I'm keeping that. It can trick you, but it can't get your heart. I believe that. I agree with you 100%.
Say the penny thing and that.
Yes.
Keep beating that drum, man. Well, dude, we really appreciate it. This was awesome.
Thank
if
you
got,
guys, man.
If you got 10 more minutes, we'd like to shoot a quick video with you.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Darius,
Let's do it.
thank you. It was a true honor.
So
Thank
the record's
you very
out
much.
on October 6th.
Yes.
And if you are back in New York, please come through.
Love to, man. I love doing Barstool.
Dude, hell yeah.
Where's my boy Glenny Balls?
Dude, what a world.
Crazy.
Glenny Balls. Darius Rucker shout out.
All right, big thanks for watching. If you made it through this whole episode, that means you should be subscribed. There's so many of you out there who watch and don't subscribe, so make sure you are a KFC Radio subscriber. Make sure you get all the content when it drops. Click that button now.
I have 9 fingers. I'm still subscribed. It's that easy.